Jesus. It'll be grand. It will be nice. Right, well, just before I get started anyway, I have kind of noticed, what I did notice during the soup, that he was kind of getting a little bit odd. Like I saw a leg kind of starting to jitter. So I kind of thought, right, he's getting a bit nervous, and maybe you might be forgiven for thinking like maybe he's, you know, a little apprehensive like about what might be said, about the understandable, I suppose. But I think I figured it out, and I reckon that he's actually going through DTs. Now, you see, Colin has a chronic problem, and it's been taking over his life like for quite a while. Now, there's some of us have kind of tried to help him out of it, and you just kind of get sucked in. You can't really kind of help it. So, I mean, I've come down like in the morning, and he's at it at like 10 o'clock in the morning, and 20 minutes later he's doing it again, and he's asking you if you want to do it as well. So you kind of say yes just out of politeness, until you realise he's doing it about 10 or 15 times a day. I would have rather done this in front of everybody. I really would have. But we're going to have to get Carl this fix. So, Rich, you see, ladies and gentlemen, Carl is the bit of the tea, ladies and gentlemen. If we want to keep him sharp, keep him with us, and basically make him anyway good of a husband at all for Sarah, we're going to have to keep him topped up. So later on, if you see him kind of maybe dancing like in circles on one leg, maybe it's time for tea. Don't bring the stick drink. Just buy him a cup of tea, no sugar, fairly strong, drop of milk. And that's basically how you do it. Okay? Great. Our two absolutely stunning bridesmaids have asked me to say on their behalf. I've asked me to say I'll be like that one, lads, in case anyone's wondering. They've asked me to express on their behalf to Sarah how much they enjoyed the whole process. They absolutely loved being your bridesmaids. They were doing everything and anything that they could do for you. They thought you were amazing. You kept your cool, you were calm, you were collected. You didn't throw out any diva-like behaviour. You didn't kind of lose the head. You didn't start acting spoiled. You were an absolute dream, and they do it all again for you, anytime at all. The truth is, Carl was a nightmare with his needs and demands. The way he went on is where he didn't even have hands. Between cleaning his laces and combing his hair, I had to brush his teeth and iron the clothes that he wore. It got quite difficult because of where we both live. I mean, being available 24/7 was just too much to give. I said, I live in Wexford, man, you're living in Naas. But he said, get your arse up here now or you get bummed in the face. And I constantly had to tell him he was handsome and cute. Everything had to be punctual, and it was all down to me. And speaking of which, it's time for more tea. But look, that's just Carl, it's the way that he is. Although I did find out he has secrets, and he even keeps them from Liz. He has a real knack for lying, and it's obviously effective, because no one here knows he used to be a pet detective. All those times he went travelling to Kentucky or Dubai, he was really fighting pet crime. It was all a big lie. He has given it up though, it got too dangerous to risk it. But not before his last case, when he rescued Seabiscuit. Since they all got together over 12 years ago now, they've come a long way before making this vow. You see, Sarah was no stranger to a double life either. she'd explore magical labyrinths with little creatures to guide her. So from Teen Witch Stevie Wonder, The Colour Orange and Owls, to a love for all things stationery, consonants and vowels. From that famous footwear mishap with the boot and the shoe, to the fact that each conversation invariably ends up with poo. From a job in the Butchers and nights out in Club C, to Bob Kelso, Dr. Cox, Cara Turk and JD. From hoovering school carpets and scraping up gum, to handing out a €50 note on the way home to a bum. From singing on the bus on the way to see Biffy, to all the mornings after when we felt a bit iffy. From piggybacks all the way up from the sky, to laughing so hard we thought we'd all die. From being snowed in and Scrabble marathons galore, to seeing giant rats run at you and slamming the door. From nicknames like Peanut, Bunny and Bradder, to the Lord living Jays and Heavenly Father. So now we're up to date, and what's left but the stag, but you shouldn't be expecting any kind of gag about the drugs or the strippers or how much we drank, because rather unfortunately I've just drawn a blank. I've written a few stories about what went on the hen, and believe me, the women are much worse than the men. But I was brave in the silence, and I can say no more, apart from what I did here made my jaw hit the floor. But moving swiftly on, and you'll see why in a minute, I actually had another page of this, but I was actually told to bin it. I wanted to tell the both of them what they really mean to me, but Colin will go crazy if I do, because we have to stop for tea. Just all joking aside now, I think I'll wrap this up so we can kind of get the dinner underway and we can all have a great night or whatever. I did just want to say this, I've known both of the lads for a long time. I think like I first kind of came to know Sarah when she was maybe 13, 14. And I know like we have, like obviously we have different parents, but as far as far as I'm concerned, I mean you're my sister, and you always will be, and you mean the world to me, and I love you to bits. And I'm so excited. I've known this Toby here for roughly about the same amount of time, I'd say, since he was about 14, and he's a better friend now you couldn't even hope to have. And I think the two of them were amazing, and both myself and Nick absolutely love the faces off the two of you. So with that, if you'd all be upstanding, I'd be very grateful.